are lots of decorative threads that you can use in a serger, and you're looking for threads that are a little bit thicker and would not normally fit through a needle, and these threads are going to go into the loopers, so they're going to be back and forth on the front of your fabric. So if I was just going to go ahead, let's do this. This is a woolly nylon. I'm going to tie that onto my upper looper here. So if you remember how we tied on, there is a video of doing just this. Lay the two threads together. Here, I'll bring it down so we can actually see this. Lay the two threads together, long tails together, and then just tie an overhand knot. One knot is just enough to keep that contained as you bring that through the machine all together here. So I'm going to just flip this over the top. There we go. All right, now I don't usually just run that through. I do usually pull it through. So I'm going to just get a hold of my little tails here, give a little pull. All right, and just pull enough so everybody comes through. There they are. Now I'm ready. I'm actually set up for a 3-thread wide overlock stitch. That's actually what I did here on this little baby blanket. I actually did the woolly nylon in both the upper looper and the lower looper. So I'm going to just show you how you do it in just one looper. When you put it in both, they kind of balance each other out, but you still need to let the serger know that there's a thicker thread in one of its tensions. So when we start to stitch, so let's just go ahead and see what it's going to look like from the start without anything being changed. So let's just do it at the default settings. My thread is not in the current chain, so I'm going to just slide my fabric in just a little bit and let that first stitch go into fabric first. Okay, so what's going to happen is the pink woolly nylon that I've added is thicker, so that means it is a stronger. So look what it's going to do here. In my lower looper is my blue thread. The pink is just barely showing. What it's doing is it's pulling this blue thread all the way up to the top. And I'm not getting a full pink coverage of the upper looper. So this is going to be true to when you put decorative threads in. They're going to overpower. So all we need to do is just loosen the upper looper. So we'll just go over here and let's see where it started. It started at 1.5. So let's just go down to like even 0.7 just for a quickie. Also too, if you want to add a little bit, you could add a little bit to the lower looper to help compensate for that edge there. As I'm watching it sew, I still can see down here just a little bit of the blue coming up, so I can go ahead with the screen up right here. I can change it. I'm going to tighten my blue just a little bit as well. Since these increments are so small, I'm really not changing it a lot. But I'm just changing enough so when I look down, I can see that I nailed it. All right, so I see pink right on the edge, and then I have the blue just barely touching the edge there. So we can definitely get it. Now, if you want your stitch length a little shorter to kind of give it a satin stitch look, then all you're going to do, right now it was kind of like at 2.5. So if you take it all the way down to maybe 1.3, again, you just try it out. Some threads are thicker, so you're going to not go too far down. I can go a little bit further before I pile up. Kind of like when you're setting your sewing machine for a satin stitch, you kind of go based on how thick that thread is. All right, that's really looking kind of fun. I might even do that lower looper just a little bit more. Help pull that over the edge. Love it. So since you are going to see what is in your needle, I have kind of that orange color. It is showing, so that would be a great place to match up your upper looper decorative thread color with your needle color, and then again, whatever you want on the back side. But if you want to have the same color on the front and back, that does mean you need 2 spools of your decorative thread. Let's say you decide to do this and you don't have 2 spools. You can wind a bobbin from and on your sewing machine, just kind of wind some of this thread onto a bobbin. Now the bobbin's not going to last very long, so definitely keep an eye on it. You'll need to probably wind a couple of them if you're doing a lot of this, but it at least would give you a second option for another spool without actually having to buy another spool of thread. So in a pinch, that will work. So as your threads get thicker, this is a much thicker one. This is like the Pearl Crown Rayon. This is going to need a lot more room than this one to run through the tension. Again, you might have to help it, kind of pull it around with that increase of the opposite looper. So just remember, it's kind of like a balancing act. So if one's going really tight, you can either loosen that or tighten the other one, and a combination of both is wonderful to work with. So those decorative stitches are fun once you play with some of the decorative threads.